It's your lovely Abbie Dagrin, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, lovelies. Today I'll be continuing a series on my channel that deals with natal charts, and today I'll be doing a natal chart analysis on Azealia Banks. I'll be speaking on her personality traits, her characteristic traits, and how a lot of it contributes to her placements in her chart, as well as her success that she's encountered. So please stay tuned for the rest of my video, lovelies. If you have not yet become a part of the Abbie Dagrin family, then this is your calling to do so. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you know when I upload videos on the daily. Also, hit that like button because I know you guys will love this video. And please make sure you share this video with everyone you know. That is from your friends, your family members, your enemies, anyone in general who you know who would really love and appreciate this content. Azealia Banks was born on May 31st, 1991, so this qualifies her to be a Gemini. So with this placement, she tends to be quick-witted, she tends to be an outgoing person, she tends to be inquisitive, very agile, very charming and adaptable. So her being quick-witted makes sense because she's able to give a response back when challenged on anything. She is very adaptable, and this comes with her being a mutable sign. Gemini is mutable, so they will change to their different state, so they'll adjust to the situation. She tends to be very outgoing, and she seems like a very fun person, and also she is very energetic, very bright, and does have an interesting sense of humor. So she really does represent this placement in the best way possible. Next up is her moon in Capricorn, and with this placement, this is actually one of the hardest moon placements, and this placement tends to bring people who are well-rounded, very rational, and very practical people. So she tends to be a very practical person at times. She can be very rational at times and very well-rounded. She tends to be someone who's always knows the best for herself. And this is actually a pretty common placement with someone with a Gemini. They usually have the Gemini Sun, Moon Capricorn, and the Mercury and Taurus, which I'm going to get into. And she is the happiest when she's able to climb her mountain. She works in comfort, and she loves a lot of success. And she's going to make sure that she works as hard as she can in order to attribute to that success. So I really believe this really shows her in a different light. Next up is her Mercury in Taurus, and with this placement, she tends to be a person who will tell you how she feels, and you will know how she feels. So even though she has the Capricorn moon, she's also going to be able to know how she feels based off of her Mercury in Taurus. And she loves to take her time when making decisions. She loves to take account everything before making the decision that she does. She deals with every detail and every consequence, so that's something that she's always going to look into. She tends to be a very patient person, very understanding. She gives practical and down-to-earth advice. She has a very reflective mind. She's very dependable, she's calming, and at times she may be panicky, but she's a very traditional person, and she has a rich tonal quality. Next up is her Venus in Cancer, and with this placement, she tends to be someone who wants to make their partner happy, and she is someone who will make sure that her partner is okay, make sure that their partner is comfortable. She's a very caring person in regards to having this placement. She is quite sensitive when it comes to dealing with love and relationships. She is very protective of her partner, and she has a little parental vibe when she's with her partner. She's very empathetic. She is very creative and big-hearted when it comes to someone she loves. She's very intuitive. She's very patient, loving, and dependable. And she likes sentimental gestures. And at times it can be difficult for her to forget an injury or something that's happened to her. However, it's a great placement for her. Next up is her Mars in Leo. And this is one of the placements where people are the most ambitious. Mars is ruled in Aries, however, it is Mars in Leo, and it's also a fire sign, so it makes a lot of sense. She's very ambitious, and she lives in a world where she has a tenacious and fiery nature, which we do see a lot. In regards to Azealia Banks, you are going to see a lot of creativity when it comes to her. She's a very creative person and you see a lot of things. She has a lot of managerial skills, so she loves to do things that deals with managing. She's very courageous. She's very persistent, and at times she can have generosity. At times she can have uncontrollable emotions, and that is something that Azealia has, and sometimes it can steer away from her creativity, but she's doing her best and she's trying her best to be the best she can be. Next up is her Jupiter in Leo, and with this placement, she tends to have an abundance of energy that keeps her going all the time. She's a very confident person, and Azealia, you see a lot of confidence in her. She knows herself and she knows that she's afforded a lot of things and she deserves everything, and that's a good mindset to have. Popularity is something that comes with this placement as well. She is the luckiest when she is leading and working with others, and when she is surrounded by friends and family, luck flows more effortlessly. She is also a person that loves to have growth through being appreciated in her creativity. She can be a warm-hearted person, but she's like one of the funniest person you'll be around, so that's why a lot of people really do love her and anyone with this placement. Next up is her Saturn in Aquarius, and with this placement, it's actually a good placement. And she's a very reserved person in her actions, even though her thoughts are still considered to be unconventional at times. And this is something that really does describe Azealia Banks a lot, because there's certain things that she does, and a few years later, a lot of people will be able to follow her and say like, wow, this is such a trend, I love this. So in this way, I guarantee you a lot of things that she does, a lot of people are going to want to do it in the future. Lessons in disciplining the mind, being innovative, forward thinking, and using creative problem solving to become more efficient, learning how to work together in order to benefit the whole, supporting humanitarian causes. This is something that is important with her placement, and this is a great placement for her, and I know she really fulfills this placement in the best. Next up is her Uranus in Capricorn, and with this placement, she's always looking for ways to increase her wealth and her power in different ways. She's going to want to make sure she increases her influence around the world, and because of this, since she's always preparing for the future with a lot of the decisions she makes right now, this is going to make her an automatic innovator. And this is something that I believe Azealia Banks has a lot of potential to do, because she is very innovative. She does have a sun in Gemini, and she's able to do a lot of things. She's also someone who likes to go at the beat of her own drums, so she's very original, and she likes to do things that other people may not like, and this is something that really describes her. I believe Uranus in Capricorn really is something that she'll be good at. Next up is her Neptune in Capricorn, and this continues the vibe, or this continues the theme of her wanting power, the theme of her wanting to increase her wealth and influence, and she'll be able to do that because she does have a lot of placements that help her with that. She is the type of person that idealizes work, practicality, and the ability to attain responsible goals, but at times it will also stress her out, the need to be selfless and giving, and she will find it difficult to attain her goals unless she has lowered her expectations on all fronts. With Azealia Banks, she tends to be a very nice person, but she also wants to make sure her career is the best. So with this placement, she'll be able to accomplish that, and she has accomplished a lot in her life, but I know she wants to do more. So she will be able to do that. Next up is her Pluto in Scorpio. And with this placement, she tends to be a person that finds inspiration from the darkest places. And if you look at Azealia Banks' life, she is a millennial because she was born between 1984 and 1995. And because of this placement, this really describes Azealia. If you guys really follow her on social media or follow her life in general, you do see a lot of things that she does as very interesting, because a lot of things that other people may seem as dark, she does do it. If you look at the things that she's done in life, it makes sense because she has this placement. So it makes sense where she gets her dark inspiration from, whether it's from her music or a lot of the practices that she does. She really does this, and I really do appreciate her and her being open with how she feels about life. Next up is her North Node in Capricorn, and with this placement, she will need to develop these attributes in order for her to uncover her gifts and talents. First will be self-control, approaching life from an adult position, self-respect, staying goal-oriented, sensible approach to problem solving, keeping commitments and promises, letting go of the past, self-care, accepting responsibility for success, being self-sufficient, and thanking others for their willingness to help. She uses her wisdom to create the life that she knows she can have, identifying with herself, creating goals for herself and executing them, committing to her visions, not being afraid of hard work, being disciplined and responsible, and surrounding herself with people who listen to her and appreciate her wisdom. So this will be great for her to have and know. Next up is her Chiron in Cancer, and she tends to have the wound of self-love and nourishment. She more than likely undergone neglect in her early life, and influencing them can make her very needy and feeling insecure and emotional. They may latch on to people who may show them a little bit of care or a little bit of love. However, this can end up making her be manipulated by others, and this at times can give her a lot of sadness. So she may have a lot of conflicts with her mother, and this makes sense because she does have a moon in Capricorn, and sometimes a lot of people with that placements have problems with their mother. One example was Johnny Depp. So this is a hard placement to have. However, she will need to know that she deserves love, and regardless of if her mother didn't give her love, she is worthy of love, and regardless of what other people say, she will need to get the therapy needed so she knows what true love is and make sure that people around her don't hurt her, try to take advantage of her. Next up is her ascendant/rising in Taurus, and with this placement, she may be very stubborn. However, she's a loyal person. She's very careful and cautious. She may not be flexible, but she is single-minded. She is self-indulgent. She may appear to be physically sturdy and strong. She has a comforting spirit, a comforting presence that people love to be around. She's very artistic, very charismatic. She has a pleasant voice. She's very dependable. She's very musical. She's very artistic, and she's a practical person. She may be very nurturing, very steady, and she's also very reliable, enjoying to be around. She may be very gentle and very calm. So these are the traits of someone with an ascendant or rising in Taurus. Last but not least is her midheaven in Aquarius. So having this placement makes a lot of sense as to why she is famous and has a lot of success, because having this placement, people tend to have a lot of success. The spotlight is always on them. They tend to always have a public eye, or they love to be in the public. She tends to be very intellectual, very independent, very creative, and very informative. She's very unpredictable when it comes to her career, so that really does explain Azealia a lot. She requires a lot of space and freedom, and you're definitely not the type to fall under the influence of anybody's world. That is most definitely Azealia. She's gonna make her own path in life, and other people may look at her and be like, yeah, I want to be like her, this, that, and the other. So this really does describe her in the best way possible, and it makes a lot of sense. That's all I have for you lovelies today in regards to Azealia Banks' natal chart. Please let me know down below in the comment section how you felt about it. Did you get to learn more about Azealia as to why she is who she is, or the person who she is in general? Please let me know down below who else you would want me to do a natal chart on. Also hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, that like button, and share this with everyone you know. Also, if you have not yet followed me on my social media account, please make sure you do that. Hit that like, follow, and share buttons, because a lot of the content I post on here, I do not post on my YouTube, or I do not post on my social media accounts, and a lot of the things I post on my social are not here. So with that in mind, make sure you follow me, like, and share, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye lovelies, please stay safe.